Welcome. Welcome back to Teacher Log class, and this is Survey of Mathematics Chapter 3 Logic, and this is part 4. And again, just a reminder that if you need these notes, feel free to get it from my description box, and you can click the link and get it for free. And now we'll be discussing 3.4 Equivalence Statement and Variations of Conditional Statements. So basically, these subtopics will be discussing equivalence statement, and another one is variations of conditional statements. So equivalence statements, I believe that you also have seen it in the set theory that when there's equivalent sets, it means that the numbers of elements are the same. However, in these 3.4 equivalent statements, it basically just means that, okay, example, P, Q. Example, you have a statement and have a statement. And example, you make the P or negation Q, and you make a truth table. Example, you got it true, true, false, false, true, true, false, true. Example, this is what you got. However, if you have doing another compound statement, example this one, and also P true, true, false, false, and you got it, the answer is true, true, false, true, 2. That means that if the compound statements have the same answer in terms of their final answer of the truth table, it means that both of them are equivalent. Okay, both of these are equivalent if the answer of their truth table are the same. So again, the equivalence symbol here are 3 lines, just like what I did here, 3 lines. And if you want to know that whether it is the same, equivalent, you can use the truth table to see whether it is equivalent or not, and the answer will be the same here. Okay, so this is equivalent means, okay, in compound statement here. Okay, so there's a question here, says that show that P or negation Q, negation P2 negation Q's are equivalent. So now the question saying that these two are equivalent, and now we need to prove it and show it to them that it is equivalent. So how are we going to show it? We use truth table as stated on the notes here. So when we need to create a truth table again, and you know how to do it. Okay, if you don't know how to do it, feel free to go back to my part 3 video. Okay, PQ, and of course we will have true true, true false, false true, and false false. Okay, and the first thing we will do for this one first. Okay, and now what we are doing is we try to combine both of these both of these compound symbolic form in one truth table. Okay, how to do it? It is just the same thing. Okay, no worries. Okay, so we start from this one. P, do we have P? Yes. Do we have negation Q? No, so we do a negation Q. And do we have P? Yes, we have negation Q. Yes, and we can do the whole thing here. P or negation Q. Then we got the first one. And the next one, do we have negation P? No, so we put a negation P here. Do we have negation Q? Yes, we have negation Q here, so we can directly put negation P to negation Q. And basically the answer for this one, the answer for this one, and the answer for this one is the answer that we need to compare. If the answer here are the same as here, means that they are equivalent. Okay, so let's try. Negation Q of Q means that TF it will be FT. And here says P or negation Q, so P and negation Q. So or here means that as long as you need to have both of the statement to be false in order to get a false answer. So let's look at here. True, false, it will be true. True will be true. False will be false. and false true will be true. Okay, only true, only false can get false in or in disjunction. And now we need to get negation P here. Now, true, true, false, false. So it here will be false, false, true, true. And here says we need to get negation P to negation Q. Remember, negation P to negation Q. So negation P is here and negation Q is here. So we need to look from here first, then we go to negation Q. Remember, when it comes to conditional, when that's true to false, you get false. Okay, for the others will be true. So let's look at here. True, false to false will be true. False to true will be true. True to false will be false. And true to true will be true. So you can look at here, you can get a very nice view here. True, true, false, true, 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 false, true, which means that both of these compound statements are got the same answer, which means that both of them are equivalent. So now we can write it as P or negation Q are equivalent to negation P to negation Q. And that is the answer. Okay, because it shows that, and we have been showing them in the truth table. Okay, and now let's look at the B. Here says that use the result from part A to write a statement that is equivalent to the bill receives majority approval or the bill does not become law. Okay, so don't be surprised with the questions. We just need to start doing that. What is P and what is Q? Okay, we need to start representing in a simple statement. Okay, so P, we can say that the bill received majority approval. So we can write here, the bill receives majority approval. Okay, and we can do the next one, Q. The bill does not become law. And remember, does not means negation. So we will not include negation in our simple statement. So we write the bill become law. Okay, so now we got our P, we got our Q, and now we will need to write this statement in a negation, in a symbolic form. So here's it, this bill received majority approval, so P. And here says or the bill does not become law, which means that it is a negation of Q. So P or negation of Q. So you can see that this is the same thing as the questions here. B equal to P or negation Q. And now the questions requiring us to write a equivalent statement. So we need to base on this to write the English statement. So look at here. Negation P to negation Q. So we will write it as if the bill does not receive majority approval, then the bill does not become law. Okay, so let's check. We have this we have this conditional, so we have if and then, and since we have negation, so we have negation here. Okay, so that is our answer. If the bill does not receive majority approval, then the bill does not become law, and which means that it has the same meaning as the one here. The bill receives majority approval or the bill does not become law. Okay, so it's kind of that when you want to write a English sentence and you doesn't know that whether it is the same meaning or not, you can use the truth table to prove it, to see that it has the same meaning. Okay, so and we are done for the second part, 1a and 1b. Let's look at the next questions here. So here it says that what P or Q and negation P to P, negation Q to P are equivalent. So now it says that this and this are equivalent. So let's try to prove it. Okay, we prove it using the truth table. Okay, so P and Q. So we have true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. And of course, we'll start with this directly because we have P and we have Q. P or Q. And the next one, negation Q. Why negation Q? Because this is at the left side and we need to have the elements first. Then negation Q to P. Okay, so I hope you got the idea here. P or Q. Remember, or means that we need to have both of them as false to get a false. So for this case, it will be true, 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 and false. Because false, false, false and false, you get false. And negation Q. So negation Q here. True, false, true, false. It will be false, true, false, true. And now we need to get negation Q to P. Negation Q to P. Remember, if this is true, this is false, we'll get a false. Or else we'll get true for the other's answer. So false, true, 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 false, false, true, and true, false, we will get false. And now the questions are requiring us to prove that this and this are the same. So let's see whether the answer is the same. Okay, true, 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 false. And here are true, 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 false. Yes, and we know that this and this are equivalent. So we can say that P or Q are equivalent to negation Q to P. And that's it. Okay. I hope you can get a concept here. Okay. So let me try to get you some idea that about equivalent again. Okay. So now, the first thing I need you to remember that from what we have learned, equivalent, if you realize in the first video I've talked about that P or Q are the same thing as Q or P. Isn't that okay? I've talked about this before. Okay, P or Q is the same thing as Q or P. So we also can say that they are equal. And the second, P and Q are the same thing as Q and P. So it means that both of them are equivalent. And the third thing I want you to realize that is P if and only if Q are the same thing as Q if and only if P. Okay, so if you doesn't know that, hey, wait, did we learn this one? Go to page 4. Okay, let me show you page 4. Okay, page number 4. It's slightly lagging here. Okay, page 4. We are almost there. Okay, look at here, page 4. Is the statement below true or false? We know that P and Q has the same meaning as Q and P. Then we put true. P or Q has the same meaning as Q or P, and we put it true. And P, if and only if Q has the same meaning as Q, if and only if P, and we put it true. So this means that all of them are equivalent except for the C. Okay? So let's go back here. So this is the first concept we know about equivalent in page 4. So, and let's talk about the second thing that we learned just now also. Just now we realized that, you realize that just now what we did, the two questions that we did are representing equivalent. So we can see that P or negation Q are the same, well, or I should say equivalent as negation P to negation Q. So let's write it down first here, okay? P or negation Q are equivalent to negation P to negation Q, okay? This is what we got it from here. Negation P or negation Q is equivalent to negation P to negation Q. And just like what we did here, QA here says that P or Q are equivalent to negation Q to P. So you will realize somehow, both of these questions is somehow a little bit similar, okay? So how can this become similar? Yeah, let's look at here. Okay, let's look at here. Negation Q to P. P or Q, okay? Negation Q to P. Okay, so let's leave it here. Okay, these are the two things I want you to realize here. Then let's continue here. Use the result from part A to write a statement that is equivalent to I attend classes or I lose my scholarship. So how are you gonna stop this question? Of course, we'll look back to 2A and we'll try to write it, the statement that equivalent to. So let's decide what is this. P, I attend classes. Q, I lose my scholarship. Okay, and here says I attend classes or I lost my scholarship. So we can say that this is P or Q statement. And now we know that the question is requiring us to write a equivalent statement. We know that P or Q are the same thing as or the equivalent as negation P to Q. So we also can write this sentence as negation Q to P as if I don't lose my scholarship, okay, then I attend classes. Okay, so let's check. Negation Q, so don't, and Q is lost my scholarship, and I have here this one, so if then. Okay, and that is the equivalent statement that we need to write for that question. Okay, and we are done here. Okay, and let's look at the next one, the third one here. Show that negation parenthesis negation P is equivalent to P. Okay, so basically I think, okay, look at these questions. Try to think about these questions, okay, and a small algebra question. Negative 3 is equal to 3. Do you somehow find these two are similar? Okay, 3 and negative 3 are opposite to each other, just like P and negation P. So negative times negative become positive, and it will become 3 is equal to 3. Just like this case, so negative times negative, which is positive. But of course, we will not write positive here, so it will be P equivalent to P. However, let's prove it using the truth table. Of course, here we only have P, so we write only P. And here we have true, false. And of course, we need to have a negation P. Negation P, it will become false, true. And according to the question, negation of negation P. So negation of negation P. So which means that false will become true and true will become false. So you can see that P and negation of negation P have the same answer. Okay. And also the next here says that show that negation of negation P are equivalent to negation P. The same idea, same concept, negation and negation become positive, or I should say cancel out the negation, and negation P will equal to negation P. Let's prove it using the truth table. So true, false. So since we have 1, 2, 3, 3 negation P, so let's write down negation P 1, negation P, negation of negation P 2, negation of negation P 3. Okay, so negation P will be false, true. Negation of negation P will be true, false. Negation of negation P will be false, true, isn't it? Okay, so we can see that now this part, which is this, and this part, which is this, have the same answer. Okay, so they are equivalent. Okay, and now we have two more questions here, questions 5 and question 6. But let me just kindly skip it for a while, and once we have done with this, and we'll go back to that questions. Okay, so let's look at this one. Here says that variation of the conditional statement notes. So, and here says name, symbolic form, and English statement. Okay, so I believe that you know what is conditional. Conditional means we have an arrow here, right? Okay, if then. Okay, however, conditional also, just one conditional also can come up with different varieties. So the first one is conditional, as what we learned, P to Q, and that's called if P then Q. However, they also have another called converse. Okay, so converse. Converse basically means that Q and P, you change the place. And of course, we learned that when P to Q are not equivalent to Q to P, as what we have learned in the page 4. Okay, just now we have gone through it, right? And here's a if Q to P, they to be if Q then P. Remember, this is condition as what we learned, and it is a converse of the original statement here. Okay, and we also have another one called inverse. So inverse here means that it changes P to Q to become negation P to negation Q. So this is called inverse. This is an inverse of the original conditional on condition. Okay, so it will be if not P, then not Q. And the last one here, call it as contrapositive. So what contrapositive did is it changes the place P to Q, Q to P, and it put negation at the same time. So it will become negation Q to negation P, and it becomes if not Q, then not P. So you can see that P to Q, if P then Q. And there's one thing that interesting is that the first one, conditional, although it is not equivalent to the converse, but it is equivalent to the contrapositive. Okay, and at the same time, the converse are equivalent to the inverse. Converse are equivalent to inverse, and conditional are the same or equivalent, I should say, with the contrapositive. So remember, the trick here is that P and Q, you need to change the place and you need to put negation on the both side. So for example here, P to Q, the negation will be negation Q to negation P. Then let me ask you, how about P to negation Q? So remember, this we put in front, but if you see, look at here, Q negation Q, and here P negation P, and they change their place. So in the case of this one, negation Q will become Q, and 2P will be negation P, and that is the equivalent to. Okay, you get the idea how it becomes equivalent. Means that you need to change the place, and also if there's no negation, you add negation. If there's negation, you you remove the negation. Just like the converse here, how converse will be the same as inverse. You see, look at here, Q to P. How to become equivalent? P, you add negation P. To Q, you add negation Q and change their position. And that's how converse and inverse are equivalent. Okay? So when you know this concept, let me bring you back to the previous slide here. Okay, look at here. P to Q, negation Q to negation P. So let's move forward up a little bit. Okay, the third question is here. Okay, just now we discussed about equivalent. We learned about the first one, second one, and I would like to add the third one is that P to Q are equivalent to negation Q to negation P. Okay, and one thing I want you to realize is here. Just now we added from the question 2a, we added that here, negation Q to P. Can you try to write one symbolic form that is equivalent to negation Q to P? Okay, negation Q to P. If I want to write that is equivalent, I would write that negation P to Q. Can you get the idea? It's the same thing, right? I change the place, then I add the negation if there's no negation, and I remove the negation if there's a negation. So now, you might be a bit confused why I want to do this, but I want to try to prove with you something, okay? So now, let's remove this one. Okay, let me remove this one. Now, no more this one. And I will use these to replace on the place, okay? So now I will add this there, okay? Negation P to Q. Okay, now let me remove this one. Okay, now I have replaced the place there. Now, try to look at this now one more time. This both of these equations, or I should say the symbolic form. Yeah, symbolic form. Can you realize something? Try to think and figure out, is there any something that is similar? Okay, if you notice, look at here. Let me highlight it for you. When there's nothing here, there is something here. When there's nothing here, there's something here. When there is something here, there is something here. Okay? When there is something here, let me show you using another one. There's something here. When there's something here, and then there will be something here. Okay? So basically, I want you to show you is that the yellow color part here I mean for P, it is opposite from what it is given here. Just think about it. P in front of P have nothing. Here we have something. And when here have something, then here will be have something. That means here and here will be the same. Same here. Okay? So, okay, you might be still a little bit confusing. Let me just explain one more, okay? Example here. Example, maybe I will put here negation P or Q. Then now, I'm asked to find an equivalent conditional statement. So, how should I find it? So what I need to do is remember, here are opposite and here are the same. I mean here, okay? Here are the same. So I will write here opposite negation P will be P. I will draw by a conditional and the same P to Q. So that is the answer. So can you try to get it? Okay, let me show you one more example. If I put here negation P or negation Q, so I need to find another equivalent conditional. What you need to do is just remember, in front, opposite, and in front here will be same. So if I want to write a conditional statement, just draw a line for sure. Opposite will be P. Same will be negation Q. And that is the equivalent statement. Okay? So remember, if you're able to get the concept of these three things, then it will be easy for you to tackle the questions. Okay? So one here, the second here, the third here. Okay? So let me just kindly finish up the questions here. Okay? So let's try the questions here. Once you know these three concepts, we can start to tackle these questions. Okay, so now, Miguel is blushing or sunburned. Okay, so let's try to put here. Miguel is blushing, sunburned. So we need to write down the P and Q, the simple statement. So we can write here P is Miguel is blushing. Q, Miguel is sunburn. Okay, now we need to identify the A, B, C, D, and we need to select the statement that is not equivalent to this one. So now look at this one. Okay, if Miguel is blushing, then he is not sunburned. Okay, from this one, if Miguel is blushing, we can know that if Miguel is blushing is P arrow, then he is not sunburned. He is not sunburned. So we can say it's negation Q. So the first one here, A, is P to negation Q. And let me write the first one also. The questions. Miguel is blushing or sunburned? Or, so I would say it is P or Q. Okay? And let's look at the next one. Miguel is sunburned or blushing? Okay? Miguel is sunburned or blushing? So we know that it's just changing the position. So sunburn is Q, blushing is P. So B is Q or P. Okay? And the next one. If Migo is not blushing, then he is sunburned. If Migo is not blushing, then he is sunburned. So by looking at this one, let us try to figure out if Migo is not blushing. So it's if this means have an arrow and you say not blushing means negation P, and here says then he is sunburned, then Q. Okay. And the next one here say, if Miguel is not sunburned, if Miguel is not sunburned, then he is blushing. So basically here now means that negation, if he is not sunburned, in negation Q, 2, then he is blushing, then it is P. And now we have all of this now. This is the questions. Okay, look at this. This is the question. And now, from this A, B, C, D, we need to identify which one belongs to, is equivalent to this, and which one is not equivalent. So now, this is the time that we need to use the techniques here. The 3 equivalent theories that we listed up here. Remember, P or Q is equivalent to Q or P. P and Q is equivalent to Q and P. P by conditional Q is equivalent to Q by conditional P. And for this, remember OS. When it is O situation, P will be opposite, Q will be the same when it changes to the conditional. And when conditional is changing back to conditional, we change the position and we change the negation. So now from this one, P or Q, okay, we don't need to look at these questions here, the given answer here. We just do it by our own, okay? P or Q. We know that it is equivalent to Q or P according to the first theory up there. Okay, here. Okay, P or Q is equivalent to Q or P. And from the second theory, we learned that if it is or situation, if I want to change it to conditional statement, I will need to remain opposite here on the left P side and get the same from the Q side. So it will be negation P to Q. That is my second theory, right, of no above. And the third theory that we learn is, if from the conditional, if we need to change it to another conditional, how we gonna do it? We will move the last one here, the second one, and change it conditional, change it negation sign to the first one, and we change it the negation sign, and it will become P. Now, once we got this, we can try to figure it out which one is belongs to it and which one is not belongs to it. Okay, and now let us try to compare to the answer here. Okay, so now let's highlight the equivalent one. Okay, so now we have figured out that Q or P, and yes, we got it here, Q or P. And the second one here, negation P to Q. Oh, yeah, here, negation P to Q. And the next one, negation Q to P. And we got it here, negation Q to P. And we know that which statement that is not equivalent. The statement that is not equivalent are this one, the A part, okay? P to negation Q is not equivalent to the question. Okay, can you get the idea that what I am trying to getting you, okay, let you get? So look at here, this equivalent theory that I try to summarize, which I call it as 3 theories of equivalent. This is the very important thing for you to get it. Okay, remember the first one, the second one, and the third one here. So let's try one more question down here for you to get it. Okay, let's look at here. Select the statement that is not equivalent to. Again, the question is requiring you to get a non-equivalent statement. So here says that if it is raining, then I need a jacket. So now we need to write into a simple statement. So P, it is raining. And Q, I need a jacket. Okay, so it is raining and I need a jacket. So from this simple statement, we can write this compound statement as P to Q. That's simple. Okay, and now from looking at this A, B, C, D, and now we need to try to figure it out also. What is their symbolic form? If it is not raining, or I need a jacket. It is not raining, so negation P, or I need a jacket Q. Okay, no need to think about it first. Try to write it down first. I need a jacket. So it be Q, or it is not raining, or it is not raining. So Q or negation P. So come back to here. If I need a jacket, so if means that it will have an arrow here. If I need a jacket, so it will be Q, then it is raining. P. And the next one, if I do not need a jacket, if means that there's a conditional. If I do not need a jacket, negation Q, then it is not raining. And now we have the questions here. Okay, P to Q. And we need to try to figure it out which one is not equivalent. It's kind of confusing, especially when you just look at the sentences here, English statement here, and try to think about in the symbolic form. So remember what we have learned. Okay, again, P to Q. So P to Q, if you remember that there's 3 theories of equivalent, P to Q, according to the third one, saying that it is equivalent to negation Q to negation P. So let me write it down, okay? P to P, okay, let me write it down. P to Q. It is equivalent to negation Q to negation P. And remember also, we know that how can we find we make it into the in the all disjunction form. So this is opposite and here is the same. I mean, using the green color, this is the same. So if it is opposite, it will be negation P, and it is same all Q. Okay, all Q. Okay, and now once we found that, is there any other way that we want to find it? Of course, negation P or Q is the same thing as Q or negation P. And now we found another 3 equivalent way, and now we can try to find which one are not the same. So now let's try to figure it out. So let's get the one the same. Negation Q to negation P, which is exactly the same as the last one here. Negation Q to negation P. And here, negation P or Q. Negation P or Q. Q or negation P. Q or negation P. And the last one is the C one. If I need a jacket, then it is raining. Q to P, which means this is not the equivalent one. Okay, and this is the answer. Okay, then we finish this part. So try to remember these 3 theories of equivalent that I summarize here. Okay, and of course PQ, of course not all the situation is PQ. Remember that if there's a negation, you switch the place and there is no negation. Okay, and let's go back to the questions here. So I believe here you still remember. If you want to change it, we change the place and we add negation if no negation, and we remove negation if there's a negation. Okay, and now the question here, let's look at it. Write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of each statement. Okay, so what we need to do now is, this is the conditional, and we need to write its converse form, inverse form, and contrapositive form. So for sure, the first one you need to write is always P is equal, P is what and Q is what. The simple statement. If I am in Chicago, I am in Chicago, then I am in Illinois. Okay, I don't know where is it. I am in Illinois. Okay, and now what we need to do? This is P to Q, right? And now we need to write it in the form of converse. So if it is converse, it is Q to P. Then the statement will be, if I am in Illinois, then I am in Chicago. Okay. Then if you want to write in inverse form, it will be negation P to negation Q. So it will be, if I am not in Chicago, then I am not in Illinois. Okay. And the next one, contrapositive. And remember, contrapositive is the only one that is equivalent to this one in the conditional statement. Okay, negation Q to negation P. So it will be, if I am not in Illinois, then I am not in Chicago. That's it. Okay, it's kind of simple, right? We just need to switch and we need to use it. Okay, so let's try this question. If you don't laugh, you die. Okay, wow, that's so serious, yeah. Okay, first thing we need to write is the simple statement here. Okay, P is, you laugh or don't laugh. You laugh. Okay, remember, don't, this word is a negation, so and we will not include it. Q, you die. Okay, so which means that in these questions it is negation P to Q. Okay, and now we need to find out what is converse. Remember, converse, basically we just switching the place this and this. So it will be Q to negation P. And if it is inverse, remember we are changing the sign. So it will be P to negation Q. And remember, if it is contrapositive, it will be what? It will switch the place and change the sign at the same time. So it will be negation Q to P. Okay, so let's try the questions here. So if you want to write it into English statement, in the case of this one, it will be, if you die, then you don't laugh. Okay, for inverse, P to negation Q, it will be, if you laugh, then you don't die. Okay, and the last one, contrapositive, it says that if you don't die, then you laugh. Okay, and that is how it is. Okay, so you might face the questions in your exam that requiring you to write in converse, inverse, contrapositive. Okay, it happens. Okay, and now it gives the questions negation Q to negation R. So this is the condition, and now you need to write the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive. Okay, remember, converse only changes the places. Okay, so negation Q to negation R, it will be negation R to negation Q. Inverse doesn't change the position but changes the sign. So negation Q will become Q. Negation R will become R. And contrapositive changes both of it. So negation R, switch in front and no negation. Negation Q, go back to the end and it will become no negation. So it will become R to Q. That's it. And now we need to write the next question. Write the contrapositive of the statement. Again, we need to figure out what is a simple statement here. P, if I'm in the city of Jogdriva, so it will be I am in the city of Jogdriva, which I don't know where is it. Then I am on the planet Blochus. I don't know where is it. Again, something weird is okay. And remember now, you need to write the contrapositive of the statement. If you look properly, this question is P2Q, isn't it? If, then there's no negation involved here. So the contrapositive will be changing the place and changing the sign. So your answer should be, if I am not on the planet Plochus, then I am not in the city of Jogdriva. That's it for that questions. It's kind of easy, right? Okay. And now you have another questions here saying that write the converse and inverse of the statement. So again, you need to figure out what is the simple statement. P, if you are getting a haircut, you are getting a haircut. And then next one, then you are not studying. Remember, this not is a negation, and we shouldn't add the negation in our simple statement. So here will be, you are studying. Okay, so and based on this statement here, we need to try to figure out our symbolic form. If you are getting a haircut, so there's a line here, P, then you are not studying, so negation Q. And we need to figure it out, what is our converse and what is our inverse. Okay, converse, again, it changes the position but doesn't change the sign. So it is negation Q to P. And inverse, it changes the sign but doesn't change the position. So become negation P to Q. And now we need to figure it out, what is the sentence, English statement here. So it will be, if you are not studying, then you are getting a haircut. Okay, and the next one, negation P to negation Q. Oh no, no negation for Q. Okay, negation P to Q. If you are not getting a haircut, then you are studying. And that's it for the variations of the conditional statements and also what we have discussed just now about the equivalent. And thank you so much. Just for your information again, you need to remember this one for sure. Exam is somehow we get involved with this one. And of course, about equivalent, you need to remember these three theories of equivalent that most probably teachers will not shown you, because when it's shown you, then it will be too easy for you, but you need to get it before you go to your exam. Okay, we have done with the equivalent and also the variation of the conditional statement 3.4 in this video. So thank you so much. Get a small rest, and if you are still confused or if you have any more questions, feel free to comment below and let me know. So thank you so much. Be safe and goodbye.